Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Harebrained Games. My apparent weekly segments have been a little bit elongated lately. Again, work, loving the new job, but times have shrunk. But always in a good way. Definitely in a good way. I hope you all are doing well as well. So let's just pop right into the news. Okay, well, this is the season, or at least kind of the slow rumbling season for awards. Lots of different rewards, especially over in Europe, where the Spieljars and all the other big name award givers all come out and name a game, most of which I've heard of, a lot of which I played, and very few of which I agree with. As is the case, it looks like Azul, which is sort of it is a tile game. It's an interesting. Just look it up on Board Game Geek. It's a clever game. Not my cup of tea, really. I didn't really gravitate towards it like I did with some others that it's been compared to, but certainly is pretty, very pretty. Also, in other news, there's Legendary World War Hulk. So I guess we're just gonna keep going with Legendary all the way through to My Little Marvel Pony. We'll see. Also, there's a One Deck Dungeon has now been released digitally on Steam. It's also available on iOS and others. One Deck Dungeon is kind of a sort of a phenomenon where you literally do go through a dungeon. It's all like a rogue random dungeon thing, and you take it as far as you can get. I like a little bit more premeditation and planning. So I'm more of the Gloomhaven, I know what I'm getting into, and I look forward to the next chapter thing rather than hey, what the heck, let's see how we go. But you know what? It's popular, and it looks like a pretty decent port. So I might take a look. One Deck Dungeon is its name. Kickstarter, I was able to take part in two different Kickstarters that closed down, and one of which has still got a few days to go. One of them didn't make it, and it saddens me. It was called Kicking Class, and it was sort of a labor of love by a husband and wife who had decided to take everyone back to high school. With the game being about some of the antics and madcap events that occur in school, with all the stress and all of the rules and policies and rules broken and policies not abided to, and events and challenges and all the personas that you expect from high school. Maybe that's why it didn't do well. It didn't make its goal. It definitely missed it. It bounced out right away to a third of its goal in day 2 or 3, and then just flatlined. But I do like it. It had sort of almost a Willy Beamish kind of art style that I liked. I wish it well, and I hope that they can come back stronger and maybe do what it takes to kind of generate enough interest to do it again. But props to them. Also, Skull Tales. I'm always on the lookout for a good pirate game. Always on the lookout for a good pirate game. I buy them all, and I'm still looking for the best pirate game out there. I think the best one right now is Merchants and Marauders, but it's not the best one we can have. I know that there are even better piratey adventures out there waiting for someone to just imbue it and take it. There's a lot of good ones, even a couple great ones, but not the one I'm like, that is my pirate game yet. So that's next year that we'll see it out, but it's like a Gloomhaven level investment, but you're going to get a lot of value out of it because it's also kind of a Gloomhaven like experience in some of its detailed aspects like campaign play and progression and such. So on that note, there is the sadness of A Dog's Life Kickstarter, which has been a complete disaster, and it's been a month since anybody on the Dog's Life team have even chimed in. They're kind of running away with the cash, it appears, and that's a bummer. It's a risk. That's Kickstarter. Anyway, let's get to my question of the week. All right, Tim. One guy said, so is there anybody who makes games that you would buy sight unseen? Just like, oh, this guy made it, I'm buying it. I'm like, yeah. There used to be one or two, now there's several more, where I'm like, yeah, I trust you. Because it's trust. When it comes to designers and games, you do develop kind of a clandestine trust relationship. Like, I trust that you know how to make games that I enjoy. I trust that you make solid games, and that I'm not going to have to worry about them not being good or really bad problem. There are people you trust. And so it's really less of a, by sight unseen, although it is, but it's more really like, I trust you. So when you say you're going to make something, if I have the income to do it, I'm going to help you with it. And then I'm probably going to play a good game out of it. So the two top ones are obviously Isaac Childress, Gloomhaven, founders of Gloomhaven, Forge War, no-brainers. I see them, I like them, I buy them. Never let me down. The other one, surprisingly, is Vlada Chavatil, who's done Mage Knight and Dungeon Pets, Dungeon Lords, all of which I enjoy. Now, he's done some side things like Sneaks and Snitches and and some other things that haven't been as well received, and yet I've never not enjoyed them. I really do. I mean, even Bunny Moose Moose, which is very bizarre, esoteric party game of just clever, I have not been disappointed in. So that's the answer to that question. So how about you guys? Is there anybody who, like, if his name's on the box or his name's on the Kickstarter, bam, take my cash? Let me know. I'd like to keep that conversation going. And with that, let's get to my 3 games of the week. Okay, we're going to talk about Tokaido. Tokaido is a peaceful experience. In fact, it's almost nauseatingly peaceful. It really is truth in advertising, as in Tokaido. The artwork is minimalistic and just peaceful and kind, and you can go down the roadway and, oh, I'm going to take a picture. Oh, maybe I'll get a bite to eat. Maybe I'll travel a little shorter this time, all the way till the end, and then you decide who won, and it's peaceful, and it's pretty much a no-brainer to show to people who want to play a nice, peaceful game. It certainly is a simple rule set, and probably one of Antoine Boz's. It's probably one of the better ones I like. Not my total favorite, but close. If you want something that's just peaceful but still feels like, this is satisfying, and you just want to rest that day, which isn't every day. Sometimes I want to, like, throttle the crap out of someone in a competition. This is not that way. You just peacefully lull them to sleep and then surpass them. So that's Tokaido. I'd probably 7. The standard, like, yeah, this is decent. Next, Kepler 3042. Now, we have games that are 4X. Space games like this are oftentimes 4X. Like, you explore, you exploit, you expand, and then you exterminate is generally the kind of the idea of a 4X game, where you're building up a civilization or an empire, usually in space over time. Kepler is a little different because it basically just has exploit, explore, expand. No exterminate. It too is peaceful, but not really. And so far it's been interesting. I probably give it the same thing, like maybe a 6.5 so far, because it takes a bit to grow on me. I appreciate the solo play. That's nice. But it's interesting. Everybody expands out together in the universe, and it's just unusual. It is unusual. I don't know if it's unusual in a madcap, spectacular way yet, but it's unusual. And finally, my grail of the week that just arrived is the Kickstarter Renegade by Ricky Royal, who's known for, no relation to me, who's known for a ton of really well done tutorial how to play videos and stuff. So he was able to make his own game, and this is a crazy game, and I'm still wrapping my head around it. There's lots of videos, because hey, if you're just a guy who makes how to play videos, of course you're going to make how to play videos for your own game, and you're going to do a good job at it. And he has. I'm still going through it, but it is very, there's a lot to it. It reminds me, it's sort of like Netrunner meets chess-ish, Netrunner and Pandemic, and I don't know, it's just crazy, but it nails the feel of a Netrunner experience so far. A lot to it. I've only just barely scratched the surface and started the simulator training, but in the game you're going after supermassive computers that are basically enslaving the planet, and it's up to you as the rebels to fight through and do damage and mess with them and such. And so far it looks like the guy is really up his alley in this game. I could tell that he really loves it, and the terms do take some getting used to, especially if you're not heavily into sort of sci-fi terms and such. And you might spend some time with icon and color scheme overload. But hey, it's good enough, and it's got a great single player experience, I'm told, so we're going to try it out. I'm not going to give it a rating yet. I suspect it will be at least a 7, probably higher, once I actually get into it. But it's really well done. So those are my 3 games of the week to show you, and now it's time for Tim's Tantrum. Get off my land. You know, with the explosion of board gaming we've had in this industry the last decade, I am amazed that no one has tapped into games about croutons. This is a clear oversight. Come on, global community. Let's do this. And that's it for today. Thank you, and we'll see you next week, hopefully, on Harebrained Games.